Good morning, everyone. Are you all there? Morning, class. Is everyone there? Let's start with a big smile. Come on, are you all there? Or coming in late? Where? Yeah, good. Pavan, good morning, ma. Ravi, good morning. Let us see some more good mornings. Rashid, good morning. Anu, good morning. Anu, you're my regular student, is it? Shilpi, good morning. Yes. Spandana is there. Anjali is there. Are you all there? Nagman, good morning. Hadia, good morning. How are you, Hadia? Are you doing well? Yes? Who else is there? Where is Mallikarjun? See, class, there has been some little issues about seniors. Hanumesh, good morning. About seniors class. So I am tomorrow. I'm shifting my class to after the Jay Lakshmi's class. Jay Lakshmi ma'am, I believe, is having network issues because she's from a rural place. So I won't be coming in at 9:30. I certainly want you all to watch my class, a seniors class, because I'm going to continue about the webinar. So what you should do is you should see my tomorrow's class anytime. Unfortunately, my yesterday's class I saw has only 46 views. It is very disheartening because seniors themselves are 79 and you all are 151. So it's obvious you're not seeing the class. If you're not seeing the class, I don't think, it is instead of watching a movie, I think you should see my class because I have done a lot of research and it is important that you see that class. It will give you a lot of knowledge. If you are not in terms of gaining knowledge, then I will just keep quiet. But if you want to do well in your career and you want to do well in your, interviews and your group discussion, because that is what your gives you a better placement. If you want to prove to the employer that you're the person that they should look for, then it is my little attempt at getting you more knowledgeable. So it is the choices are yours. You can see, you can see it or not see it. My suggestion is that you see it. Okay. Whereas I want to say one thing. Some of you have been asking me the PowerPoints of the class. See, it is like this. The points I make only for some points. Most of the points I talk from memory. So my PowerPoints are not complete. When you see, you can't say that the content of my class is all in the PowerPoints. There are only some points here and there for direction. Apart from that, I do not, the whole thing is not there. Obviously, this is how I have taught you how to make presentations. You shouldn't have the whole thing there. So give it, take a choice. I'm just explaining to you. Whatever PowerPoints I've given are there. I will forward. Okay, I'll forward to Gaurav today, and he'll forward. Okay, who else is there? Adia, Amrin, good morning. Vicky, good morning. Balaji, good morning. So, shall we start class? Good morning, everyone. See, today I'm talking about linear programming. All right. Linear programming is a constrained optimization technique. Constrained means there are constraints in the technique. Based on constraints, there is an optimization. All right. Now, um, we always have, see, whether the resources are unlimited or not, we are not supposed to use all of them because they are expensive. Many times the resources are limited also. Even if they are not limited, as I said, when they are unlimited also, the resources are expensive. We are not supposed to use unlimited resources. So that makes the unlimited into limited. So when resources are unlimited, with the given resources, how do you make the best out of it is what linear programming is all about. Now, if you see, as I said, it's an optimization technique. It could be maximization or it could be minimization. When you're looking at profits, it is a maximization technique. When you're looking at using limited resources, it becomes a minimization technique. In linear programming, there is an expression or an equation that needs to be optimized. This one is called an objective function. Prashant, happiest morning to you too. Yeah, everyone smile. I gave you a lecture and I forgot to tell you to smile. If I have not said before, smile now. Yeah, we'll go on. So you have in linear programming, you have one objective function. That objective function comes in the form as z is equal to so and so. This is either a maximization or a minimization problem. It could be maximize z is equal to so and so, or it could be minimize z is equal to so and so. All right. Now this one, maximize or minimize z, you have to optimize. So this is the objective function. Now variables are usually given in the form of now small x, x1, x2. It is like this, small x and small, just like this. Variables are given like this, x1, x2, x3. The objective function comes like this, maximize or minimize z is equal to, like this, maximize z is equal to, and or minimize z is equal to. That is called the optimization, I mean, that is called the objective function. Now, usually a problem, see, um, suppose you are having, there is a product, okay? Let us say this is there is a product, all right? A product has components 1, 2, 3, all right? So we will say component 1 is small x1. A product contains 3 components. The components would be x1, x2 and x3. Let us imagine the company manufactures 2 products and each of these products require x1, x2, x3. But the amount of x1, the amount of x2 and amount of x3 in each of these is different. All right? What is this? I'm getting some darkening. Okay. Is it the light? I don't know. I'm getting some dark. Yeah. So imagine there are 2 products a company is manufacturing, and in the product, the components are x1 X2, X3. Alright? Both the products require some of X1, some of X2, and some of X3. How much goes into product A will be different from what goes into product B. Do you understand? For example, let us say this is this is salt, this is sugar, and this is wheat. X1 is salt, X2 is sugar, and X3 is wheat. Alright? Or please, this thing, I cannot use too much salt. Let us say X1 is rice, X2 is sugar, and X3 is wheat. Now imagine we are making two kinds of biscuits. Alright? And both the biscuits require rice, sugar, and wheat. Since we are going to make two types of biscuits, in the first biscuit we require much more rice than we require wheat. In the second type of biscuits, we require much more wheat than we require rice. So imagine that the supply of rice and the supply of wheat is there is a restriction or there is a constraint. You cannot get as much rice as you want, as much wheat as you want, given how much money you have. So with the rice you bought, say you bought 50 kgs of rice and you bought 50 kgs of wheat, you have to decide how much of the first type of biscuits you have to make or and how much of second type of biscuits you make. Now why? You may tell me, ma'am, we'll make equal amount of biscuits. If we can, you may tell me, ma'am, use for the first biscuit 30 kgs of rice and 20 kgs of wheat, and for the second biscuit use 30 kgs of wheat and 20 kgs of rice. You will get it. But there is one more problem. The problem is the first type of biscuits you may get 20 rupees per biscuit, and the second type you may get 15 rupees per biscuit. So when the first type is good, why don't you might also tell me, ma'am, if you're getting 20 rupees for the first type of biscuits, make only that type of biscuits. See, there is something like every company likes to show that it makes variety of biscuits. It doesn't want to be famous. There is a flagship biscuit that it wants, but it doesn't mean that every you have to show some variety of biscuits you have. You cannot say one type biscuit company. Okay, if you see all the biscuit companies or the bakeries, they make various types of bread: salt bread, sweet bread, bread with all those tutti frutti, and you have buns. You have buns with all that aloo bun and this bun and that bun, isn't it? They want to show that they have variety because people, though the biscuit may be super duper whatever, the people get tired of eating the same biscuit, so they may go away and say, oh, that fellow makes only one type of biscuits, why should I go to that this one, I'll go and buy somewhere else. So you're supposed to have different types of biscuits. So the both the biscuits are important, all right, and for various other reasons. All right. See, a Shipping Corporation of India used to run various kinds of ships. The various kinds of ships is, the first ship is the oil tanker. An oil tanker has, in the this thing, it has only storage space for oil, nothing else. When that tanker, no oil tanker, the crew will be getting more incentives for going on an oil tanker because you can't even smoke a cigarette on an oil tanker. It will go up in flames. It is very, very dangerous to be there on an oil tanker. So any crew that is there on the oil tanker used to get more incentives. The next one is the bulk carrier. The bulk carrier, what happens is it takes things like shoes also maybe, and maybe a little of oil. All kinds of products it takes, from onions and dry fruits to everything a bulk carrier can take. All right. The third type is the luxury liner, or it's a passenger ship. Now, how many of us, for example, imagine going from Chennai to Singapore, it used to take 4.5 days by ship. Whereas, by less than 4.5 hours, you try, I think 2.5 hours, you can fly to Singapore. Then who will go by ship? How many, when you have such a huge ship, you think there will be so many people who have time for leisure and all through the year they'll go? If anybody wants to take a trip by ship to Singapore, they may maximum go during the summer. What about the other times? Isn't it a waste to send that ship? But then, why did Shipping Corporation of India have maintained that passenger ship? Because it wanted to be having, wanted to have a portfolio. See, MV Chidambaram was a ship which used to sail from Chennai to Pulau Penang, Malaysia, and then to Singapore. And it used to do that it is to every, I think, every month, twice or thrice, it is to go. A lot of fuel is to be used, and still, Shipping Corporation, though it was a loss leader, it is to maintain it. So there are many companies who want to show that they have a portfolio of products, and that is why they maintain it. Do you understand? So this is the reasoning why we need to do two kinds of biscuits. Now coming to my example, I have told you there is a company, biscuit company, which is manufacturing two types of biscuits. Let us call them biscuit alpha and biscuit beta. Now, biscuit alpha requires more, both the biscuits require rice, sugar, and wheat. I have said rice means, oh, this is, yeah, rice. X1 is amount of rice, X2 is sugar, X3 is wheat. Now, biscuit A, alpha, requires more rice, some sugar, and less of wheat. Biscuit beta requires some rice flour, some sugar, and much more of wheat. Okay, there are two biscuits tasting differently. I also told you I've bought 50 kgs of rice and 50 kgs of wheat with the amount I have given. Biscuit Alpha gives you 20 rupees per unit, 20 rupees per biscuit. Biscuit Beta gives you only 15 rupees per biscuit. Then, as I told you, I need to do Biscuit Alpha and sell Biscuit Alpha as well as Biscuit Beta, because if I sell only Alpha, people will say one biscuit company. After some time, they'll stop coming to my buying from my company. They'll get tired of eating the same taste of biscuit. Do you understand? And always our risk should be diversified. We should have a portfolio, like how you have a portfolio for investing. You should have a portfolio. You can't put all your money in just equities or just in debt securities. All right. So you have to. So this is the understanding for that. Now, maximize Z means how much of alpha biscuits, how many alpha biscuits, how many beta biscuits we have to do. Please remember, there is a cost involved in buying the rice flour, cost involved in buying the sugar, and cost involved in buying the wheat flour. Also, there is a profit involved in each unit. All right. So with this, I will let us come back and show you the expression. One expression, that is the Z expression, is going to be optimized. Maximize Z is going to be optimized. All right. Variables x1, x2 are called decision variables. All right. Now what you have to optimize is called the objective function. What I showed you here, maximize Z, is the objective function. Now variables x1, x2, x3 up to xn are a set of variables. So they are decision variables. Okay, there are constraints, and when you satisfy all the constraints, it is called a feasible point. What could the constraints be? There is no supply of rice powder, only 50 kgs. there is no supply of wheat powder, only 50 kgs. Or it could be like, the laborers are not there. X4 could be number of laborers available. Maybe biscuit alpha requires one laborer to look after the machine. Maybe biscuit beta requires two laborers to look after the machine, and only two laborers are there. How are you going to use them? If you use them all for biscuit beta, biscuit alpha will remain untouched, zero production. If you put them for biscuit alpha, one fellow will not have work at all. He will remain idle. Do you understand? I think I'm very clear. Now we have to opt. All in all, the linear programming is a constrained optimization technique. Remember that. With this, we will go ahead. Yeah, Nina, good morning. Yashaswini, good morning. Naveen, good morning. Karen, good morning. Arun Kumar, good morning. Yeah. Now, I'll show you. It could be like this. Here I have said minimize z is equal to 4x1 plus x2. You can say it anyway. Z is equal to 4x1 plus x2 is equal to z. You know, you can be maximize or minimize. It will be written like this. Subject to, imagine here 3x1 plus x2 greater than equal to 10. It could be a constraint for rice powder, and x1 plus x2 greater than equal to 5, x1 greater than equal to 3. These are the three constraints. It could be constraint for rice powder, wheat powder, labor, sugar, anything. So the first three, 3x1 plus x2, x1 plus x2 and x1 are all constraints. Alright? So the last one, x1 comma x2 greater than or equal to 0 are is called the non-negativity restriction. So in a linear programming problem, you will have one objective function. Here the objective function is a minimization problem which says minimize 4x1 plus x2 is equal to z. It could also be a maximization problem where it could be maximize 4x1 plus x2 is equal to z. Then the problem goes on to like this, subject to the rest x3x1 plus x2, then the next one x1 plus x2 and x1. These are called the constraints. And the last one x1 comma x2 greater than or equal to 0 is a non-negativity or non-negativity restriction. Alright. Optimization class is a way of life. Correct? Optimization is a way of life. You buy a cylinder of gas, you try to get the most out of it. If you think you can cook rice for a month on a cylinder of gas, and if you then alternatively, instead of rice, if you make rotis, maybe your gas cylinder gets over in 25 days. If you are going to have only rotis for 25 days, one gas cylinder is enough. If you are going to have only rice for 30 days, one gas cylinder is enough. Now, so you must think, do I eat rice all the time so that I can save my cylinder 5 more days? Or do I eat rotis, do I eat rice only or do I eat rotis only? If I eat only rotis for 25 days, 5 more days of gas I have. So everything in life is optimization. You want to come to college, you realize that if you come a little early, you will get a bus that comes till the head office, and bus is only 10 rupees, or you will take a bus. Suppose you come a little late, it has to be an auto. Auto is definitely, say, if it is 10 rupees, auto must be 70, 50 to 70 rupees. Or a cab. You can say, instead of me going alone, instead of me going alone, I will take two of my friends. We will pool the cab, and the cab comes to about 90 rupees. So we end up paying 30 rupees. It's okay. Something like this. We always take optimization decisions in our lives. All right. Optimization is a way of life. Whatever resources we have, we try and make the best out of them. Right. For example, we use time productively, right? And sometimes solving supply chains. I gave you the supply chain of taking yourself as a raw, raw material to the department to become MBAs. Being MBAs is what you come out as a finished product, if you see it like that, isn't it? So using devising inventory and warehousing strategies as what businesses do in using linear programming techniques. Now, I will give you one problem. What we have to do is first, we have to um, formulate the problem. Like I showed you this, no? This is a complete problem. So we have to formulate the problem. Look at this problem. I have told you in my example, rice, and let's say x1 is rice, x2 is wheat flour. So the how much of rice? No, sorry, class. This is like x1 could be alpha biscuit and x2 could be beta biscuit. All right. So it goes on. I will show you in a problem. You write down a problem, please. A company manufactures two products, P1 and P2. A company manufactures two products, P1 and P2. You make it capital P. A company manufactures two products, P1 and P2. The profit for 1 unit of P1 is 30. 1 unit of P1 is 30 and 1 unit of P2 is 40 rupees. Okay. The profit by selling 1 unit of P1 is 30 rupees. By selling one unit of P2 is 40 rupees. All right. These products require to be processed. These products require to be processed in 3 machines. So all the 3 products have to be processed in all the 3 machines. 3 machines. And the time required for processing of each product on 3 different machines is as follows. In order to produce 1 unit each of P1 and P2. In order to produce 1 unit each of P1 and P2. Formulate the linear programming model sorry, formulate the linear programming problem, formulate the LPP, linear programming problem, in the form of a model. Now you have to write, you have to draw. This is not the solution, this is still the problem. You have to draw 4 columns. Alright, the first column, first row heading is profit per kg. Profit per kg. Alright, in the first column you have 4 rows. The first row you have written profit per kg. Below that you write machine 1. Next, machine 2. And the last one, machine 3. Class, did I say 3 columns or 4 columns? I don't remember. You have to have 4 columns, I'm sorry. Alright? So this is how it goes. The first column, first row is profit per kg, and then you have machine 1, machine 2 and machine 3. The second column, the heading is P1 slash 30 rupees, meaning the profit per kg of P1 is 30. Next, you write P2. When I give the table, as you work out for the next problem, I'll give you better. This is how it is given in the problem. It is a little mishmash. P2 40 kg, but it is clear. P1 gives, class 1 minute. I have not given you kg, I have given you unit, no? It is profit per unit you give. Kg is a irritation. Profit per unit. So P1 is 30, P2 is 40. Now here the last column heading is total machine hours available per day. Total machine hours available per day. The last column heading is total machine hours available per day. Alright, already. Now in the second column, which says heading is P1 slash 30, you write 335. Next column you write 256. And last one you write 600, 800, 1100. So this is your problem. Machine 1 availability is 600 hours. That will be a constraint. Machine 2 800, that will be second constraint, and machine 3 will be 1100, that will be third constraint. Alright, now already solution. Let x1 be let x1 be the amount of P1 produced. Write down everybody. Let x1 be small x1. Small x1 be amount of P1 produced. Amount of P1 produced. X2 will be amount of P2 produced. X1 will be amount of P1 produced. X2 will be amount of P2 produced. Alright? Now, objective function. Write down objective function. Alright? Objective function will be, write down, I'll show you. Maximize capital Z is equal to, maximize capital Z is equal to. Now class, the P1 gives 30 rupees profit. Okay. So your maximization will be 30 into x1. And the next one is 40 rupees profit by P2. We have said P2 is x2. So 40 x2. So here will be maximize Z is equal to 30 x1 plus 40 x2. Did you understand? This is our objective function which we have to maximize. We have to, I can say, optimize also. Alright? Now, for the constraints, look into the line where it says machine 1. P1 requires 3 hours of machine 1 and P2 requires 2 hours of machine 2. Okay? The total hours required by the total hours that machine 1 can work, after that maybe it gets heated. Okay? So the total hours that you can work on machine hours is only 600. So we require 3 hours of x1. So right here, before you have written this, no, maximize, under that you write subject to, sub, subject to you write subject to. Now we'll go, you have to have 3 constraints here. The constraints are, the first one is for machine 1 and the next one for machine 2 and the next one for machine 3. Why? There are only a limited number of hours that each of the machines can give you. Alright, 600, 800 and 1100. Now with so much explanation you will have guessed. The first one will be 3 hours on machine 1, 3x1 plus 2x2 lesser than or equal to 600. Those of you who are doing LPP for the first time will now guess the remaining. Alright, subject to 3x1 plus 2x2 lesser than or equal to 600. Now the next one will be naturally 3x1 plus 5x2 lesser than or equal to 800. 3x1 plus 5x2 lesser than or equal to 800. Alright. Now comes the third one, 5x1 plus 6x2 lesser than or equal to 1100. 5x1 plus 6x2 lesser than or equal to 1100. Okay, we cannot make, it is not, there isn't a case where there is no x1 produced, that is no p1, x1 means p1, or no p2 is produced. There cannot be a case like that, isn't it? That is why we have to say x1 greater than or equal to 0, comma x2 greater than or equal to 0. What you can write is x1 comma x2 greater than or equal to 0, or you can put individually. Here I will put individually. x1 greater than or equal to 0, comma x2 greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so suppose you are going to get 5 marks. Here are your 5 marks. Sometimes you may be asked to only formulate the LPP, linear programming problem. So here is your problem and here are your 5 marks. Alright, so it is maximize and here. Alright, now what I would like you to do is keep either, see, I won't want you to, I'll teach you how to solve it graphically. But if I go to teach you graphically now, you will get confused with what I have done just now. Alright, so leave one page there where you can stick a graph sheet and you can write explanations, you can work out, etc. Leave one full sheet to work it out graphically later on. We will continue now and formulate the next LPP. Alright? Ready? Give me a thumbs up, somebody. Did you understand? Can you give me a thumbs up, somebody? Whose thumb will be seen first? Where is Anjali today? Where is Shweta? Oh yeah, Pavan. Pavan's thumb came up 3 times. Vicky, yes. Very good, very good. Shall I proceed? Okay. I'll proceed for the next problem. All ready? Yes, Prashant, I saw your thumb also. Small thumb came, man. Prashant. Okay, ready? All of you? Now write. Second problem. A company owns two flour mills. Flour is Flour. Flour means hittu. Prashant, I got a very big thumb. And Ravi is in suit today. Is that Jif you, man? You are wearing a suit today? Okay. Ready? Okay. A company owns two flour mills, A and B, capital A and capital B. I'll repeat, a company owns two flour mills, Flour, two flour mills, A and B, capital A and capital B, which have different production capacities, which have different production capacities for high quality, medium quality and low quality flour. High quality, medium quality and low quality flour. FLOUR, flour. The company has entered into a contract. The company has entered into a contract to supply flour, FLOUR, to supply flour to a firm every month with at least every month with at least 8 comma 8 comma 12 1 2 and 24 quintals, 24 24 quintals, QUINTALS, quintals of high, medium and low quality flour respectively. Of high, medium and low quality flour respectively. Stop writing. I just want to tell you. Now the company has to supply at least 8 quintals of good quality flour, 12 quintals of medium quality and 24. So this becomes your constraint. Okay. Greater than or equal to 8, greater than or equal to 12, greater than or equal to 24 are your three constraints. As you read, you should get in your mind, because when you get a formulation problem, you have to use the minimum amount of time. As you read the problem, it should work. Now, write down. It costs the company rupees 2000 per day to run mill A. I repeat, it costs the company rupees 2000 rupees per day to run mill A, capital A, and rupees 1500 to run mill B. Okay, so mill A can be run for 2000 rupees per day, mill B can be run for 1500 rupees per day. Mill A can produce mill A can produce 6, 2 and 4 quintals of high, medium and low quality flour per day. I repeat, mill A can produce 6, 2, and 4 quintals of high, medium and low quality flour per day. Or I can say it like this. Mill A produces 6 quintals of high quality flour, 2 quintals of medium quality flour and 4 quintals of low quality flour per day. Similarly, mill B produces 2, 4 and 12 quintals of high, medium and low quality flour. I repeat, mill B produces 2, 4 and 12 quintals of high, medium and low quality flour per day. How many days per month? How many days per month should each mill be operated? How many days per month should each mill be operated in order to meet the contract order most economically? In order to meet the contract order most economically. Now, most economically means this is a minimization problem. Before that, I think we must make the table. So, how do you think we should make the table? I think we will make it 4 columns. The first column for details, second column for mill A, third column for mill B, and the fourth column how much they can work on, isn't it? High, yeah, and the row would be high, medium, and low. Okay, so first column you write quality, and you have 3 more rows: high, medium, and low. I think we will start it like this: quality, high, medium, and low. If you think we can make a better table, we can do it again. It's not a problem. This is all, practice, isn't it? Now, you write here mill A, and below in that only you write 2000. Write like this: mill A 2000. You can devise better tables later, or what you can do is last column after low you can write cost per day. You can write like this. Maybe this is better. You can write like this: cost per day. Alright? Then you can cut off this 2000 and write it there. See, when you make a table like this, the valuer or anybody who sees your problem automatically knows that you have understood. Half your marks come in this. Alright? I mean, they will understand that Next, as you remember, as you guess, it will be mill B. So, 1500. As you all have guessed, the last column will be availability per day. Availability per day. So let us fill the details. Mill A produces 6, 2 and 4 of the quality flours. Mill B produces 2, 4, 12. I think the last column is not necessary. I don't think we have the last column necessity, isn't it? Let it be, don't worry about it. We will go into the next problem. We will go into formulation. This is all that they have given, isn't it? Okay. Write down. So this is the objective function is not maximize, it is minimize. Write down minimize. You can rub off the last column later on, doesn't matter. See, I'm working out with you. I can work out and just show and get out. Not like that. I know I want to do mistakes with you and then rectify and go ahead. Alright? Minimize. Z equal to, we are going into 2000 rupees per day and 1500. Before that class, you have to write one thing. Let x1 represent mil A. Small x1 represent mil A and small x2 represent mil B. I'm using the previous chit only. Let x1 be representing mil A and x2 represent mil B. Alright? Alright. Now, here we go. Minimize z is equal to, how many hours it works? 2000. 2000 x1 plus 1500 x2. This is not the amount, this constraint is the time, isn't it? Not the time, sorry, money. So, plus we do have no contract. Wait, where is my previous table? We do have a contract. I did not see that properly, sorry. There's a contract, isn't it? Instead of availability per day, you can make it contract. It means the same thing. You just put there 8, 12 and 24. Go back to your table and the last column is filled like this. They want 8 minimum of 8. See, the constraints for us will be on high quality flour, medium quality flour and low quality flour. So the first high quality flour, they want minimum of 8. So how will your x1 and x2 be? I'll write here class. See, so this will make it even more simpler. On the top, for mil B, I've put x1 in circle, sorry, x2 for mil B, and for mil A, I've put x1. So your problem is all given in this table, which you yourself have made. So your first, see, look here. When you look down here, you have your objective function. You have x1 on top. So you have 2000 x1 plus 1500 x2. See, it is very clear in the table. 2000 x1 plus 1500 x2. Very clearly given. Minimize z. Now as you guess, give me the first one here. 6x1 plus 2x2, what? Greater than or equal to 8. Minimum 8, no? So it has to be greater. Next one will be 2x1 plus 4x2 greater than or equal to 12. Next, 4x1 plus 12x2 greater than or equal to 24. So your problem is finished. Write down subject to 6x1 plus 2x2 greater than or equal to 8. Why? Minimum there should be 8. Next, 2x1 plus 4x2 greater than or equal to 12. Next, 4x1 plus 12x2 greater than or equal to 24. And then we have x1 greater than or equal to 0, comma, x2 greater than or equal to 0. So I think you like this problem. I think you like to, with the table, you have just learned how to make the table, and we have learned how to make the problem. So when you formulate a problem, let us learn how to make the table. And with this table, see, it was super simple. You had x1, x2, and anybody can do this problem. This table was not given in the problem. Previous problem, you had a table. Let us learn to make one table and everything will be fine. Alright? Did you understand, class? I need more thumbs ups before I go on into one more problem. In linear programming, you may be questioned two things. One is, three things. One is formulate the problem. Second one, you have to go and do graphically. And third one, you have to just do a given problem in the simplex method. Or you could be having one problem where you have to formulate the problem and solve it graphically. So three ways you can be questioned. I repeat, one is to formulate the problem. Second one, formulate the problem and do it graphically. Or four ways. Or another way, just graphically, a problem is given, solve it graphically. And the fourth one is solve it, a problem is given, solve it in the simplex method. Thanks, Rashid. Very sweet of you. Alright, so we'll go ahead. Now we will do one more problem. We'll do one more problem. Alright, we have time for one more small problem. Let us do. A chocolate. Now we come to chocolates for your children, Rashid. A chocolate manufacturing company. This is very simple. A chocolate manufacturing company. We have 25 minutes. I want to stop at 11. A chocolate manufacturing company. Class, before that, you leave place to stick a graph sheet and to work out the problem. Leave one full sheet. Because I don't want to waste these problems, we'll work them out graphically. If I don't work these out, that will be your assignment. Yeah, I remember your assignment which I have to collect today. Remember, these assignments are going to be valued for marks. Alright, the assignments you are submitting today will be valued for marks. Because I cannot give you presentations or anything, so these assignments will be the basis. There will be an internal assessment test. There will be internal assessment tests as soon as the government opens up our college university doors. There will be, from today, all the employees are supposed to be 100% working. But students, I just read a government order. Ready? A chocolate manufacturing company manufactures two types of chocolates, A and B. Manufactures two types of chocolates, A and B. Both the chocolates require milk and cocoa only. Milk and cocoa only. Cocoa is COCOA. Both the chocolates require milk and cocoa only. Write down. Each unit of A requires 1 unit of milk. If you want, you see here, each unit of A requires 1 unit of milk and 3 units of cocoa. Next, each unit of B requires 1 unit of milk and 2 units of cocoa. I repeat, each unit of B requires 1 unit of milk and 2 units of cocoa. The company kitchen has only 5 units of milk. The company kitchen has only 5 units of milk and 12 units of cocoa. The company kitchen has 5 units of milk and 12 units of cocoa. The company makes ₹6 per unit of A sold, ₹6 per unit of A sold, and ₹5 per unit of B sold. Maximize the profits for this company. Maximize the profits for this company. Maximize the profits for this company. That's all. Solution table. 4 columns. I've already done this here. 4 columns. Second column, first column, don't give any heading. You can put details. First column, first row, you can put details. Next column, you put milk and in brackets put x1. Third column, you put cocoa and in brackets you put x2. Are you getting the hang of it? You feel good? So, next, what are you going to do? Yes? In the first column, you put A for chocolate A, and next row, sorry, first column A, below that B, and last column you put total to show how much milk the kitchen has. Last column heading was profit per unit in rupees. This is very simple. 1. A requires 1 unit of milk and 3 units of cocoa, and profit per A is 6 rupees. A sells for 6 rupees and B, come to B. I repeat, in A you need 1 unit of milk for A, 3 units of cocoa, which we have said x1 and x2, and profit per A is 6. B is 1 and 2 and 5 rupees. Total there is 5 liters of milk and 12 liters of cocoa. So let milk be x1. Is it going to be trouble, no? If milk is x1, how many chocolates are you going to produce? Should it not be opposite? What is the maximization? Yeah? I think we should have x1 for A, cut off there class. We should have x1 for A and x2 for B. Because we need to do how many chocolates of A and how many chocolates of B, isn't it? So write down maximize Z is equal to 6 rupees per unit, isn't it? So 6x1 plus 5 of x2, 5 rupees, no? So your chocolate A, capital A chocolate is x1, capital B chocolate is x2. So 6 rupees profit for A, that is become 6x1, 5 rupees profit for x2, it becomes 5x2. Maximize Z is equal to 6x1. So you put x1, x2 as A and B. Yes, Ravi, you're right. Now, this, see, actually what happened, I copied this from internet yesterday. Wait, I dropped a paper. Give me a minute. I copied this from internet yesterday and I think it is wrong. What we will do, Ravi is right, we will turn the columns, okay? Now what we do is write another column, make another table, all right? See, this is good exercise because you can make straight away next time, okay? Excuse me. I copied that from internet and I felt happy, but there are a lot of amateur and people, not experts, not everyone is expert there. Ravi, you're right, it will be easy. And this is one way we should do. So what we will write is first column, first row, write details. Second column, you write A, in brackets put x1. Third column, you write B, brackets put x2. And then last column, you write total availability. This is one word which we have been using all the time, isn't it? One minute. See, I have made the table like this now. Thanks, Ravi. I was also thinking the same thing, man. A, x1, B, x2, total availability, and under the details we will put milk and cocoa. This would be in sync with the, yeah, this would be totally in sync with what we did before, right? So milk would be how much milk you require? 1 and 1. And cocoa you require 3 and 2. Profit is 6 and 5, and total is 5 and 12. Yeah, this is perfect now. So your maximization would be maximize, look at the last part, maximize z is equal, this one 6x1, x1 is up there, 6x1 plus 5x2, isn't it? Maximize z is equal to 6x1 plus 5x2. Simple. Yes, Ravi, totally easy. Now, subject to the constraints, x1, only one, x1 plus x2 lesser than or equal to 5. We have only 5 liters of milk in the kitchen, 5 units of milk in the kitchen. x1 plus x2, 1x1 plus 1x2 lesser than or equal to 5. Next one, next constraint, 3x1 plus 2x2 lesser than or equal to 12. Alright, x1 greater than or equal to 0, x2 greater than or equal to 0. Never mind if you did the table again. When you study, you will realize, don't scratch off that table. You just say not applicable or not practical right there and keep. When you study for your exam, you will realize this table I did and then I did this table. So it will be in your mind that better we do it like this. It will be in your mind that constraints are of milk. Keep in mind like this, class. Now, constraints was what? Availability of milk, and constraints were availability of cocoa. So these are the constraints. Put the constraints row wise. Availability of milk and availability of cocoa was your constraint. Put them row wise. Suppose you understand, put them row wise. So you will get availability here and it will be simple. Even the profit will be here and it will be too simple. Alright, so let that other table be for you to remember. So here is our problem: maximize 6x1 plus 5x2. Sorry, maximize z is equal to 6x1 plus 5x2 subject to the constraints. You just write subject to x1, that is 1x1 is x1 plus x2 lesser than or equal to 5 because there is only 5 available. 3x1 plus 2x2 lesser than or equal to 12. x1 greater than or equal to 0. x2 greater than or equal to 0. So here is your problem. Okay, I think enough for today. Keep one page there. Yeah, keep one page there so that I can work out the problems. I may work out new problems for graphic method or the existing ones. I will decide. I haven't planned for my next class yet. So I will decide and I'll tell you. Now, class, I will give you 2 more days for your assignments because if you don't submit, you will not get your marks. Please remember, I am noting down everybody's assignment that you SMS to me or WhatsApp to me. Don't do it today. I will find a way to do it. Alright? I will find a way to do it so that it becomes simple for me to check every assignment of yours. Alright? So, uh, I will tell you on Friday. I'll give you 2 more days. Wednesday, Thursday, maybe 3 days. Friday. I'll tell you how you have to give me the assignments. There may be some of you who have not finished, and there may be like I have to also see a way how things I can collect very simply. So on Friday, if you do not submit the assignments right before 12 o'clock, your marks will be suitably less. Alright? Your marks will be suitably less. Please remember, see, I cannot give you marks for good behavior because I cannot see you. I cannot give you marks for presentations because we are not in the class. I only can give you for assignments and for internal assessment tests. So, these are the only two things we can base our marks on given the current situation. So, please remember your assignments submission is very important. And make sure when you write, class, when you take a picture of your book, I want your name written there. Suppose it is Ravi Srivastav, for example. Every page, Ravi, when you take a picture, write there Ravi Srivastav. So I know that you have done the assignment. Rashid, when you take a picture of your book, let there be Ahmad Zia Rashid written on every page. Prashant Kilara, Prashant, I don't think there is any more, only one Prashant, isn't it? Prashant, Prashant should be written on every page that you take a picture. Alright? Somewhere on the top, better on the top. When you take a picture of the page, I told you I want 16 problems. 6 plus 6 plus 4. Every 16 pages or 18 pages, however, I want your name written. I don't want anybody copying. Yes, Rashid, very good. Alright? Write your name on every sheet. Who else is there? Mallikarjun is not there today. I don't know why. We may be seeing it later. Never mind. As long as you see. And keep it ready. Keep the pictures ready. Make it a file and keep. I will tell you how to send it. Wait till Friday. Write and keep ready. Okay? Don't think you can fool me by sending the same pictures of someone. And don't think you can rub it and all that. I want your own book, honesty and sincerity you will get marks with me. Dishonesty doesn't stand anywhere with me. You know that. I'm not sitting here as a professor of management, as your teacher, by being dishonest or shortcuts. I've worked my way through every step of the way, and that is the way I want you all to do. All right? As long as you are my students, and even afterwards, you should understand that only ethical way is the way to succeed in life, true success. All right? Money and everything will come. Okay, that's, I don't want to give you a lecture now. All right? So keep it ready. Take a picture and keep ready. Write your book, keep a picture, and I'll tell you. As soon as I finish class, within 1 hour it has to be sent to me. So take a picture. I'm giving you 3 more days. All of you, Karen, Nana, all of you, Nagma. I have never seen Yashoda joining into the class. Anjali, why? Never saying hi to me or anything. Yeah? Okay, I'll stop class. It is 11 o'clock. I think I'm supposed to stop at 11. Someone told me 11:15, so I've been going on till 11:15, which may not be a nice thing. Okay, bye class. Take care. God bless you. Yeah, take care of yourselves. Smile. Once again, smile nicely. Bye. God bless. Jai Hind. Jai Karnataka.